Hello, I'd like to order some food for delivery. It's chow time.
Sorry.
Video review. I'm better than you. We're better than Siskel and Ebert too.
Hi, I'm Tom Wilson.
And I'm Engelbert Humperdinck Jr.
And this is Chowtime! Video review.
In stereo, where available.
How you doing this week, Joe?
I'm feeling good, Thomas. How you doing?
Not bad. All right, buddy.
All right.
Hey, America.
Hi, America.
Food. Did you order the food?
No, did you order the food?
No, Dr. Von Bach, you ordered the food?
Yeah, I ordered the food.
Dr.
All
Von
right.
Bach ordered the food. It was
All
your turn,
set.
Doctor, so I'm glad you did it.
Should be here any second.
That's right.
Anyway, America, figure we take a moment here to remind you that Chowtime is growing in reputation. And at this point, I feel that we are now known as the quintessential food connoisseur reviewers for the entire metropolitan area.
I'm blushing, Tom.
Let's not hold back. We've been doing a great job. I mean, let's be honest. I can't hold back.
And that's that.
This is probably the best group of food reviewers in the whole country.
We're celebs. And there's some food for us to review.
The food let us analyze.
In Italia.
On Chowtime.
Hello.
Mine. Food.
And the chow.
Chowtime.
Oh, yes. Welcome, sir.
Not use Chowtime deadbeats again. You owe me $5 from last time.
Pay the man $5, Tom.
And $20 for this.
Okay,
And
look,
you
Pay the
better
man
tip me.
$25, Tom.
Hey,
for
hey,
once.
it's cold out there.
25
I want
plus
a tip.
tip.
All right.
Pay the man $26,
Bro,
Tom.
Joe, you got a big bill. For once, can you
Pay
cover
me.
it?
I don't have all
The big
day.
bill?
Come
Use
on.
the big bill.
I got a big bill.
Just 1 second, sir. We'll
I
have
got a
everything.
big bill with your name on it, buddy.
Take care and keep the change.
Yeah, it's chow time.
All right, America, our luscious food has arrived. Oh, it's so delicious. Well, what's up next?
Well, first up on the chopping block is Rolling Thunder, a 1977 film starring William Devane, Tommy Lee Jones, Linda Haynes, and Dabney Coleman, and directed by John Flynn. Now, Thomas, do you want to mention the other three, and then I'll go into some Rolling
Sure.
Thunder d'Italia?
That sounds great, buddy. The next film is a 1968 drama called The Swimmer, starring Burt Lancaster. We're going to follow that up by a film classic, 1940 picture. It's called The Santa Fe Trail. Ronald Reagan, Errol Flynn, Olivia de Havilland. And finally, we've got the comedy of the week. It's called A Night in the Life of Jimmy Reardon, and it's a River Phoenix film,
The late,
1988.
great River Phoenix.
That's right.
But first up on the chopping block is Rolling Thunder. This movie is about William Devane plays a major who's tortured during the Vietnam War. He's tortured by the Viet Cong for years, right?
Right,
From like 66
He's
to
in prison for
74.
like 9 years or something enormous.
And he lives through it, he gets out, America finds out, and he's coming back for his reunion. The war is breaking up, and here's this shattered individual with his buddy Tommy Lee Jones coming back. Will they adjust? Can they deal? This is the point of the flick-o! So, the first scene that we're going to see tonight is William Devane. The night he gets back, he sees his son. He loved his child until the child was 18 months old when he went to war. Now the child's 7 years old. He's being reintroduced to his kid.
I made that myself. I collected little pieces of thread and cloth, and well, it took a long time, but I made it. Every morning, all the men in my compound would come in and salute it.
That little thing?
Yeah, that little thing. Sometimes we even whisper the Star-Spangled Banner.
Do you remember me? I mean, what I looked like when I was a baby?
Sure. Of course I do. Every last detail. Why'd you take that as a present from me?
So in the next scene we're going to look at, William Devane, he's returned home, as we said. He's a war hero, prisoner of war. And the town has parades for him, and they're all coming out, to see him. And they, as a gift, they give him a collection of silver coins, silver dollars, one for each day that he was in captivity. So
2,362.
Right, there you go. That's the amount. And so what he does is, he takes it home, and he's, planning to get his life back together. He's got his wife and kid with him, and he's ready to move on with his life. So in this next scene, we're going to see what happens when William Devane is confronted with some people that want your silver dollars or else. Let's check it out.
Talk to us now, boy.
I don't think we're going to get them silver dollars.
Now for the critique of Rolling Thunder. Well, this is, an action-adventure drama. It's a late 70s classic. I found the movie to be kind of superficial. It's got a lot of ultra-violence, and William Devane is great as the almighty hard-ass. But Tommy Lee Jones seemed just kind of average to me. And the girlfriend interest in this movie, Linda Haynes, I found her to be entirely unconvincing.
Awful subplot.
Right, there are awful subplots left and right that we won't go into much detail. William Devane has something happen to him physically later in the movie. We won't ruin it for you.
We just saw it.
Right. He's got some damage, and he's going to go through the movie, the rest of the movie, with an interesting prosthesis. And I don't know, it seemed almost a little bit silly. He's got all these weird weapons he wants to use in his enemies. He doesn't really end up using them. The whole thing's a little convoluted. Anyway, it's an okay watch, but it's just superficial and short-sighted. I give this movie a 5.6. I say check it out. I can see it as a predecessor to some of today's wild action dramas, a little taste of true romance, but it's not as deep with the script as these other movies. But it may be some of the best work that I've ever seen from William Devane. A 5.6.
Well, William Devane hasn't done much work. 5.6 for you. I'm surprised William Devane hasn't starred in more roles post-1977, this film, but although he is very ugly. But,
Those teeth.
Anyway, this film is Quentin Tarantino, the writer and director of Reservoir Dogs. This is his favorite film. I think it's very well written by Paul Schrader, who wrote Taxi Driver, among other films.
Really?
Yeah, I think there's good, if not character development, then sense of character. You get a good sense of character from everybody in it. I think it's well made. It's a very violent drama. I agree with you that the acting is excellent. William Devane is amazing. I think Tommy Lee Jones is excellent, too. They both play scarred, destroyed soldiers coming back from the Vietnam War. They have post-traumatic war syndrome. Is that what it's
post-traumatic stress syndrome.
Post-traumatic stress syndrome. Like Rod Steiger and the Pawnbroker. Major problem with this film, as you briefly mentioned, is a subplot involving Linda Haynes, the blonde. Right. She's officially a groupie of war veterans. Not rock stars, not movie stars, war veterans. She latches on to Charlie the Major, William Devane, although the guy doesn't even talk. He's miserable and ugly. She's like in love with him and does whatever he says, and it's a piece of the movie.
It seems contrived.
Right, I didn't like that. That's it. That's what I thought. I enjoyed the movie all in all a lot, and I gave it a 7.
All right, the next movie that we're going to take a look at is The Swimmer, 1968 drama, directed by Frank Perry. It's starring Burt Lancaster, Janice Rule, Janet Langard, and it's got a cameo of Joan Rivers. What a movie!
It does?
Yeah,
Oh,
it
yeah.
does. It certainly does. And sticking with the Chowtime tradition, America, we had Zardoz a few weeks ago, where we had Sean Connery in a big red diaper for the entire picture. For this entire 2-hour flick, we've got Burt Reynolds in a little Speedo bathing suit. Burt Lancaster, I'm sorry. How could I make such a mistake? Anyway, what this movie's all about, in a nutshell, America, is Burt Lancaster in his late 40s, family man. He's a corporate man, and he lives in a wealthy suburb of Connecticut. The movie begins with him visiting some of his ritzy friends on a weekend, and he decides to take a nice swim in their pool. And after swimming around for a little bit, he all of a sudden comes up with a tremendous idea. He says, hey, you know, my home is a few miles away down in the canyon. You know, I bet I could swim home by going from one rich neighbor's yard to another, you know, swimming in their swimming pools all the way until I reached my home. It's a creative concept, something we haven't heard before. That's what the entire movie is based on. Very interesting concept. Let's see how Burt pulls it off.
I could do it. I could really do it.
Do what, Nettie?
Well, now at the Grange, there's a string of pools that curves clear across the county to our house. Well, look, the Grams, the Lears, the Bunkers, then over the ridge, then a portage through the Paston's riding ring to the Hallorans and the Gilmartins. And across Route 424 to the Recreation Center pool, and up the hill and I'm home. Well, don't you see? I just figured it out. If I take a sort of a dog leg to the southwest, I can swim home.
Oh, come on, Ned.
Why would you want to swim home?
I don't get it. Pool by pool, they form a river, all the way to our house.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, and antelopes and cantaloupes. In this second scene, Burt Lancaster, the swimmer, goes to a blue-collar public municipal pool, one of his last ventures on his journey as he swims across the county. Here he is. He's already going through hypothermia. He's beginning to shake, and he comes across the blue-collar world who he is screwed over for many a day. So let us analyze this. Try to understand it. Try to get the social structure in the flicko.
When are you going to pay your bill, Mr. Merrill?
Yeah, how about that? We're decent people trying to make a living.
We got bills to pay, too, you know. You want to know something? You're the first deadbeat we ever got in our place.
Hold it down, Lil.
Oh, wait a minute. Listen. I'm going to send the both of you a check tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a laugh, all right.
Okay.
Oh, listen, what's the matter with you? He's no friend of yours. Send a check that isn't worth the paper it's written on.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough.
You ought to see the orders I had to send up to his house. French strawberry jam his wife made me stock for her. American strawberries ain't good enough for her.
This is what I think. A brilliant film. I mean, I had no idea what it was going into it, and I'm glad. Because one of the major things about this film, it has a very brilliant building narrative structure. What seems to be isn't. Because that's the essence of this film. It's about time, and how time passes, and how time deteriorates an individual. I found it to be utterly profound, utterly poignant. Brilliant acting job by Burt Lancaster. He's tragic. Very good job. This is a 1968 film. I think some of the best films were from 68 through 74, where they weren't, you know, they weren't the least bit...
The golden age of movies.
That's correct.
68 to 74.
The second golden age. The 30s was another brilliant era in movies. But from 68 to 74, people didn't care about commercialism. This movie's not commercial. It's idiosyncratic. It's strange. It really gets into the human psyche. And I found it utterly powerful. Very good movie. I definitely recommend you see it. It's very interesting. It's poignant, dramatic. I said it all. See it. Burt Lancaster. Great job. I give this flick a 9.
The Swimmer. It's an interesting, wild film. It's about the deterioration of the self, in this case Burt Lancaster, that occurs when one loses their status within society, you know, and the movie's got a lot of denial in it. It flows nicely, It's highly creative. I consider this a gem.
Yeah.
You know, a real, you know, not well-known gem. It hasn't been on TV that much. It's
Not
a
well-known.
Great movie, great casting. Burt Lancaster is perfect in this role. And I just had a great time watching it. I want to see it again.
Same here.
America, I give this film a 9.5. I really think it's tremendous. Joe gave it a 9. This is the highest, you know, shotgun duel total we've given anything.
Probably.
You know,
It's
so
an average of 9.25.
we really love this film. It's not the least bit dated. It's a, you know, just check it out. Just watch it. Get in touch with Chowtime. Tell us what you think.
Yeah, what do you think?
We know you're all gonna love it. You heard about Chowtime.
The Swimmer.
Get wet, America.
What is this idiosyncratic? What is this?
Idiosyncratic. Did I say that or did you say that?
That's something you said. Let's
That's
take it out.
Dr. Von Bach, idiosyncratic means strange, peculiar, but somehow touching.
Ah,
Idiosyncratic.
it is just like that, George.
Hello.
Oh, get out of here. Anyway, on with the next flicko.
On Chowtime.
On a 10-point scale, how would you rate him in bed?
The next flicko on the blocking chop is the 1948 film, directed by Michael Curtis, and it's starring one Errol Flynn, the future president, now past president, Ronald Reagan, Raymond Massey, in a very good role, according to Tom, and Olivia de Havilland. This movie is about the Union Army, the United States Army in the 1850s, battling John Brown and the abolitionists who want to free the slaves prior to Civil War. That's what this film's about. It's kind of a convoluted film. Historically, it's definitively not accurate.
Inaccurate to the extreme.
But that's the movie. So, Jojo, what's the first scene, kiddo? It's wartime on Chowtime. Errol Flynn plays Jeb Stewart, a future head of the Confederate cavalry. Ronald Reagan plays the future General Custer. And together they are, as we speak, in the Union Army, carrying a stagecoach filled with Bibles and other aficionados. They run into John Brown, head of the abolitionists, who wants his Bibles, but the Bibles are really guns. A very dramatic scene in this semi-dramatic flicko. So, let us analyze as I eat Tom's soon-to-be non-dramatic hoagie here on Chowtime.
That's a funny thing. I've seen that fellow somewhere. It's the way it seems to me. Isn't the kind of a face you'd forget in a hurry. No. Wait a minute. I know. In some magazine, The Atlantic, I think. Well, then he's either from Boston or he's a missionary. No, it was something else.
Been a lot of bad trouble over across the river lately, Mr. Smith. That murdering skunk John Brown's on the loose again. Better keep your eye peeled for him.
Thank you. We shall. Just a minute. I'd like to see those Bibles. There you are. Put your hands up and keep them up.
America, do you really think that the future General Custer and the future General Stewart were best buddies in real life? I don't know about that. Anyway, in this next scene we're going to look at, Raymond Massey, playing the abolitionist John Brown, is going to pray to the heavens for a tremendous abolitionist victory over the United States Army that has been after his hide for many years. Take a look at this scene, take a look at Raymond Massey, and tell me, America, how does he make his eyes bug out like that? Just tremendous.
He gets lessons from Marty Feldman.
There you go. The secret is revealed.
This is a sign for which I have waited, O Lord. This is your command, the burning bush. Let there be no peace in all this land until we have revenged ourselves upon thine enemies. As once you smote the Philistines, smite now the fury of thy wrath upon these blind, misbegotten fools. be thy right hand. I, John Brown, shall be the sword of Jehovah.
All right, it's critique time for the Santa Fe Trail. Well, this was a long, drawn-out 1940 drama, just about 2 hours long. As we said earlier, Joe and I, it's grossly historically inaccurate. And it have some prejudicial moments in this film also.
Super prej.
We can't hold back, it's true. Let's roll down these people that are in it. Errol Flynn, a walkthrough performance. Errol plays himself, the character he always does. Nothing special there. Raymond Massey, he's what's known as the saving grace in this film. As John Brown, he's tremendous.
Big googly eyeballs.
Right, he really captures the flavor, of someone that's, obsessed, it's someone that's just a fanatic. He is a fanatic, a moralistic, abolitionist fanatic, and I think he's great. Then as a final point, we've got, not the final point, we got Olivia de Havilland, another walkthrough. Then we got the final point. We've got Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan, he's the man, the tremendous thespian. I mean, you don't know what it's like to be able to review the work of a president of the United States, his creative works. I mean, he's not just a thespian anymore. Reagan's performance, I mean, it's mesmerizing. You can't take his eyes off him. The commander-in-chief, I tell you. Anyway, America, I really think, Joe, that Ronald Reagan, this is in all sincerity, was as good a president as he was an actor.
I don't know about that.
I give this picture a 3.7. The only thing that gets it over a 1.2 is Raymond Massey, Raymond Massey, Raymond Massey. Stay away from this picture like the plague, America. Joe, what do you think?
Raymond Massey, Raymond Massey, Raymond Massey is too melodramatic with his googly eyeballs.
I dig it, I dig it.
Keep him in 1940. Errol Flynn, on the other hand, is intriguing. He's a good presence in this film, although he doesn't have any southern accent to speak of.
And he's like Happy Boy.
In fact, he sounds British. He is Happy Boy, and he shoots a gun like a girl. Ronald Reagan really ought to chill. I mean, I thought a dab would do you. The guy's got like an oil well on his head. There's an awful nadir to this movie with Ronald Reagan and Errol Flynn both in hot pursuit of Olivia de Havilland at the same time.
What a dreadful subplot.
Yeah, I mean, like literally 9 scenes. They're like together to get the girl, and it's like a nightmare. Imagine a hot chick between me and Tom. You would have some sadness, and of course I'd win. But anyhow,
oh my God.
Also, as Tom has put out, some dredge in his flicko.
It really is.
And I agree, that sucks. I can't recommend renting this movie, but if it's ever on TV late night, I suppose you could do worse. I give it a 5.
Too generous.
Give it a 1.3 more than my partner. But, it ain't great. And that's what I feel. You heard it on Chowtime. So, keep on yanking your doodle dandy.
Finally, America, I'm calling the shots. I think it's about time we change the title to Tom Time Video Review or Chow Tom Video Review. I mean, the possibilities are endless. Let's face it, America, the Joje, Joe, he can get a little bit irritating at times. I know it sounds far-fetched, God. For $300 a month, we've given Joe his own private space, a place where he can meditate, rehearse, do whatever he needs to do between shots. And now everyone's happy. I know we are. Anyway, looks like it's about time for another shoot where we need Joje. I think I'll go get him from his little private hideaway. Let's take a look at him. This'll just take a moment.
I'll be good. I'll be good. Come on. Come on. Let me in. I'm ready to review.
You know, America,
I'm ready to review.
I don't think we need the Joje for this next shot.
9.
Maybe not so late.
I'm ready to review. I'm ready to review.
He's a good little reviewer. All right, America. Next up on the chopping block, we're going to look at an amazing film called...
Night of Life of Jimmy Reardon. Coming at you on Chowtime.
It's time to take a look at our comedy of the week. It's called A Night in the Life of Jimmy Reardon. It's a 1988 film. It's directed by William Richard. It's got River Phoenix and Ann Magnuson, Meredith Salinger, and
Ione Skye.
That's right. What's this film all about, America? It's about River Phoenix having just graduated from high school. It's 1962 and he lives in Evanston, Illinois.
The home of John Belushi.
That's true. And what's happening here is that his father wants him to go to a business college that he despises. He's got the usual financial problems of someone who's shortly gotten out of high school, and he seems to have about 63 girlfriends in this picture, and he leaps from one romantic encounter to another. He's bed-hopping left, right, and center. He seems to be having a lot of fun doing so. So, that's what this movie's all about.
Tongue slit. Here's Hector. They come to me for protection.
What are you doing?
I don't feel like Jack the Ripper today.
But that was the best one yet.
In this scene, Jimmy Reardon, River Phoenix, a middle-class youth, goes to the major prom of affluence to win his rich girlfriend over. He's drunk, he's kooky, and he just grabs the mic. Shit rocks in stereo! And he starts reciting some bad poetry.
I have come back to dance upon a broken toe. It is Ulysses, home to roost, though perchance a little juiced. I have come back. I have come back to look upon this appalling pall. In my beer, you dropped your cigarette. Don't you have the least regret? Please stop! Please stop!
A Night in the Life of Jimmy Reardon, 1988 film. This movie starts off with an Aldous Huxley quote, and it's peculiarly from that point onward. I like this movie. It's a good soundtrack, really good music. I gotta get the album to that. I think the movie's interesting how almost the entire film is River Phoenix's POV, point of view, much like Ben Braddock, Dustin Hoffman in The Graduate. The whole film is about his point of view and who he meets.
And he narrates the whole thing.
He narrates it, right. Although he's got some hairdo. I mean, half the movie he's like Bob's Big Boy right
His hair looks like a wedge of Velveeta.
To be honest with you, I didn't like it quite as much the second time. This is the second time I've seen the movie. But I did enjoy it, and I'll give it a 7.
All right. Well, America, there's one thing I'd like to say. Written and directed by William Richard.
Yeah.
You've got a very vivid imagination. Overall, I give it a 6.9.
We're close here.
We're very close. I really think you should see it. River's great, the plot's a little lacking, but do check it out.
This is a pizzeria / Italian food located here in the East Village that has some great stuff. They're there for you late night. You got those munchies?
They deliver. But this place is okay overall. I give it a 7.5.
I'll give it a 7, my third 7 of the night. Good thing it wasn't 3 6s, huh? Well, we did have Ronald Reagan in the picture.
Hey, Tom, you mind holding the TV a while? I'm getting sick of it.
No, I refuse to hold the TV. Hold the pizza.
Look, Tom, I'm sick of this crap. Seriously, just hold the goddamn TV. It's tiring me out.
Fuck you. And the horse you came in on, pal. This is Chowtime Video Review, and I'm in charge, see?
Okay, it's like 1, 2, 3, chill.